Supergirl number 12, Steve Orlando writing, Robson Roca on art. It's a shame Brian Ching wasn't here, but I guess he needed a break. I'll have to actually look in and see if he's back for more issues soon, or if this is a permanent switch. But so this, I'm sure Matt was somewhat excited about this issue because this was Emerald Empress and the
Yeah,
Five.
so Pete read this before I did, and he kind of let me know the Emerald Empress stuff happens. I'm just to peek ahead. I loved this issue. Like this.
Do you know, Matt? I'm so glad because you were so down in the last issue. I'm
Yeah,
glad that
we're
you're up
out
on
of the
it.
Phantom Zone, and we got the Fatal Five, but not the traditional Fatal Five. We have ones that you could substitute in there.
We got Selena, we got Magog, we got a clone of Solomon Grundy. I actually thought that was a really fun little sequence at the start when they break into Arkham just to steal a bit of his hair. They just pluck a hair out.
So Selena can magically clone him, and you have Indigo, who's a brainiac. Well, my voice cracks. I got excited. And yeah, Emerald Empress, Magog, Indigo, Selena, and who am I forgetting? Because there's five.
Hold on, I'll get the page up.
Grundy?
Grundy.
Grundy, that's what you're
Grundy. There's the other one. And they all have. So something happens through here, and they're gonna start to change Grundy. And I was like, oh, if they make him look like Validus, I'm gonna lose it. Like, and I'm reading this over breakfast and being careful not to get too excited to ruin my issue. You know. But yeah, the Legion of Superhero stuff here. Because they even talk about Saturn Girl. Like, the whole reason Emerald Empress is here.
Oh, and that's a very interesting line, actually. Let's not gloss over that. Because she says, someone wanted me to kill Saturn Girl.
Yeah.
But then she basically says that, Supergirl's the one who's eventually going to defeat me. So she basically just drops the mission she was supposed to do because Supergirl's more of a threat to her personally.
Because she felt that maybe the person that sent her on this mission wasn't sure. So she's like, well, I'll get back to Saturn Girl, but Supergirl's the prime importance because she's been in my way, more recently.
So that's interesting. It's like, so who? I mean, you're thinking, was it Oz? Was it someone else that we've been talking about? But so the issue starts obviously being the last one, the cliffhanger, where it looked like Cat Grant shot Supergirl with a kryptonite gun off the building. And what I like is they don't try and actually pretend like this could it actually be Cat. Like right away, you see Cat doing she's doing a speech on a stage in the other part of the city, and like even as she's falling, Kara hears her. She knows it's not her.
You know, at the end of last issue, that wasn't gonna be it.
Oh, because we talked about that, and we thought maybe she came back to an alternate reality, and no, she didn't, because they point out that balcony that Cat was on disappeared right after she got shot off.
Yeah, it's all an illusion. Everything about it's an illusion.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if it was Selena that had done it.
This one, I mean, comics are really guilty of this a lot, but this one bothers me a lot less than the current Titan ones they've been doing, because the Titan ones, like, I guess they're just not seeded it well enough. Whereas here we have players who manipulate events and manipulate what people are thinking. So like, I feel like it was. Doesn't mess around with this since the start.
It's fine. That's what I'm saying. I was just like, it's part of this expectations that you have when you see these at the end of an issue. You go, okay.
I was gonna say, what I liked about Supergirl is they immediately, like Pete said, they get to it and they shot her with something that amps up her powers. So it's not just a kryptonite gun. It looked purple. So it makes me wonder if we're going to be getting something to do with purple sunlight, purple kryptonite.
Well, this is the thing. It has an effect on her powers because immediately, it's almost kind of similar to what's happened with the Flash, where her powers are kind of uncontrollable. She ends up like using her heat vision all over the place, and she causes damage because she can't control her speed or her powers. And she's like, oh, this is bad. Like, what's happening? And it's also given her like pain. Like she's in school the next day, and she's getting like headaches and stuff. Like it's really affected her in a big way.
Because it's basically that scene in Man of Steel where he can't control what he's doing, and it's like he's overloaded.
Yeah.
Right? And so she ends up putting a hole in the school, like a sinkhole opens up because she's freaking out so much.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't actually do this, but it's almost like she sneezed, and the sneeze like caused like a like just a big hole to like fall on the floor.
Yeah, and so Ben is kind of onto her. now. You know, like
seemingly. I mean, I don't know if he's figured out that she's Supergirl, but certainly
no,
he helps cover for her here because afterwards he's like,
yeah.
yeah, I mean I said that like this floor was unstable, but they renovated this like a month ago. Like there's no way
Yeah,
that.
well, he's starting to put it together because he's around her more, like the
Yeah.
whole Phantom Zone stuff, and even with Kat, and they're battling over the scholarship thing.
Yeah, what I like about that
So
though is
makes
it
sense,
ends with him saying like, "Don't worry, I'm not going to tell a cat you showed a moment of weakness," and I like
right?
that because obviously it ties into who Cat is, but I like that it's building up their friendship a little bit, and it's like, okay, he's
Mhm.
becoming more of a character that's not just the guy who's around, like because
Yeah,
he's he's considerate of those different things, and like he's starting to
yeah.
actually have a personality. So
They're building Kara's supporting cast, which I like.
so we have this. I like there's this moment where she goes to her father, who's like in a big cryo tube, like this life support system, and the
Yeah,
DEO, and she's like, "Oh, father, something's happening with my powers, and like I think you can hear me, and I think you can talk back." And she at least believes that he's choosing not to, even though he's like, he looks kind of half dead the way he's like sort of like floating there, but what I really like is you hear this commotion because as this is going on, like Emerald Empress and the Five are like doing their stuff outside. Like their plans are starting to initiate because a big part of what they're doing is they want to discredit Supergirl first, which is partly why they shot her with the gun because they wanted to make her powers unstable because that way she looks like she's up to. Because obviously even at the start after the chaos, some people are like, wait, why did Supergirl just ruin like half the street or whatever?
right.
And then here they've got more plans to like cause more chaos. And that starts happening, and she can hear the screams. And I like that she says to like Zor-El, like, I know you can hear them too. I have to go. It's risky because my powers are acting up, but I have to try and help them. And it's just I like that. So we end with this big cliffhanger where she's flying towards the chaos, and she gets there, and it's Grundy who they've set on leash on the streets. Which by the way, I like that panel just before he like attacks where who is it? Is it Empress or Selena who does something to him? But
It was Selena.
yeah, the art is very reminiscent. It reminded me a lot of the first cover of Incredible Hulk. You know, the whole like him becoming Hulk, and it's like you see the sizes of
Growing
him.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looked like that. I thought it was
Well,
pretty cool.
and that's why I thought that they were going to turn him into like a Validus-like creature because he's a clone, right?
Yeah,
So if they mess with this one, no harm, no foul to Grundy himself. And so I thought like that would be the one tie because we have Magog, who's a lot like Persuader, the dude with the big axe in the mask, because he has that lance. And then you have the other two that are filling the role.
yeah,
Who I can't remember their names.
yeah, Magog is in this whole plan because he has seen the future and he knows that Supergirl's descendants are going to like take care of his descendants. So
Yeah.
he wants to wipe out the timeline or the family line.
God, and talk about 90s. That's why I love that Mark Waid created Magog to just basically everything that he felt was wrong with 90s comics. And you look at him here and it still stands. Like, he's half mechanical. He's got way too much going on. So, and I like how that plays in with Kingdom Come. Because is that what he's talking about? Kind of, like, down the way?
Maybe like a version of it. Like
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, because
Yeah.
we've gotten different versions. Because Johns had out and out made, Injustice Society given us the new Magog origin. And it's not this. Like, he's a completely different person than that version.
yeah.
So
It's also worth mentioning that Emerald Empress goes to Director Chase. Like she's attacking her. For what reasons we don't quite know yet. But
and Kat shines here too. I'm starting to love her more and more. Like
Cat's great. Yeah.
Not that she's anti-Lois, but she's on that same spectrum of Lois. Like she's very good at her job. And she's very smart, but their personalities are the opposite.
I love it's not brought up here, but I love the running joke that she hates Lois, and she's like, remember, I think there was it was when Supergirl met the rest of the family, and she's like, like Miss Grant has like a room dedicated to like hating you, and she's like, I know, I like it.
So they have this rivalry, I guess the word I'm looking for, and because they're so much alike, and here she doesn't even blink when who came to see her? Was it Selena?
Yeah, I think it's Selena goes to see her, yeah.
She's just like, I have no time for a home invasion. Like, what are you doing? And she's great. I love this issue all around. I'm glad we're out of the Phantom Zone. I'm glad we're away from Cyborg Superman at the moment. Well, Zor-El, Cyborg Superman.
I like what they're doing.
The other one's trapped.
Yeah, I like what they're doing with him here, though. This idea that she, because I actually love her dialogue. At the end of that scene, she's like, "I'm never going to stop coming to see you, Father. I'm never going to stop. Like, I'm going to keep
It just
trying."
shows that she wants to be with her dad, but she's not a Kryptonian supremacist. Like, she's not going to put Krypton over Earth because Krypton's not there anymore. Like, they can still be Kryptonian and not have to bring Krypton back. And I think that's going to be important going forward with what they're doing.
Yeah, it wouldn't. It's almost like trying to teach your parent how to not have to double click everything on a computer. You don't need to.
Yeah.
You can just click once on most things. Like, you're fine.
And I want to see how Clark interacts with Zor-El, because he's what Zor-El doesn't want. Like, he's a Kryptonian raised on Earth, but Clark is much more involved in Earth than Kara is. So how is he going to react with that? Yeah. It's great, though.
Just good stuff.
I can't get over how much I loved it.
Yeah, I really feel like the whole Fearsome Five, like them coming together, it feels like they've got a plan. They're setting all the parts in motion, and it feels like we're just starting to see what the effect is. I feel like the next issue is going to end with Supergirl in a really bad place. Like, she's going to see, like, their plan's going to be more clear because they're going to do all these different things that they're winding up.
Yeah.
And we'll see what the effect is. So no, it's good stuff. And we won't have to wait too long because the annual this month is the continuation of this story. It's not.
Yeah, at least the fight with Grundy.
Yeah.
We kind of saw at the end. So.
Yeah. So that's cool. I like that. I like when the annual's just the next part. I do appreciate that. It feels like less of a fill-in thing.
I'm always torn on those because it feels like I'm obligated to buy the extra issue then. But then, sometimes if it's just a side thing, and I'll be like, I don't need that.
I do get your argument, but at the same time, it's like, at least the way DC do it, the annual's always on a week where there's nothing else. So it's like, it's like the one book I'm going to have. So I'm glad it's
as much
important.
as I like them standing alone. Like, when they do, we get a bigger story, so it's not going to interrupt the other story going forward. It just it fits in right there, and we can decompress. So what I don't understand about Orlando is how he can be so good like now, but like that Phantom Zone story, I just could not care less about. So, or I could care less about. No, I could not care less about it. So. It's so weird to me. He's so up and down.
Yeah, he's definitely. I feel like he's still figuring out his craft. Like, he's still figuring out what he's good at and what he's not good at. But I didn't hate the Phantom Zone stuff as much as you did. But I think the Supergirl has often been good. Sometimes great, sometimes okay. But it's never turned me off from reading more of it.